Dr. Mustafa Sasa, who is Chairman Managing Director of Raj Group of Companies of Dubai, UAE. He's also the Chairman of Building Materials Group in Dubai Chamber of Commerce. He's a social philanthropist, renowned corporate speaker, mentor. He's a leadership coach, Marshall Goldsmith. Chapter President of World Peace Diplomacy, Executive Board Member, CEOs Club. We were looking for CEOs Club and other CEOs Club members here. Sam was looking for somebody. And on the Board of Trustees of various prestigious universities, institutes. He's been awarded many awards, both outside India as well as in India. So then we got Lisa. Considering the UAE's impetus and focus on the Make in Emirates program, we heard Make in Turkey, we heard Make in India, we heard Make in US, now Make in Emirates, and becoming a leading industrial hub for green kind of manufacturing. Would you like to talk about how UAE's manufacturing and trading industry is evolving? Any thoughts around any challenges? Because today the boom which we see as all of us go around Dubai, the amount of construction activity. I mean, you come every 6 months, it's a new city. Dubai is a new city, a new way to go there. Anything on the real estate regulatory side? Any thoughts that you would like to share?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I would like to thank Horasis for organizing this wonderful session. And I'm honored to be among the very esteemed panelists around the globe sitting in this hall. And many thanks to Mr. Richard for moderating this. See, now, we completed 65 years in business in Dubai. My father came in 1958, and he came from Bahrain, stayed 14 years over there from 44 to 58. And what you see, the glory of Dubai now is the result of the development of 50, 60 years. Because when my father landed in 58, there was no water supply, no electricity, no roads, no cars, and no airport, what Dubai is famous for now. So you can imagine it was a small village. And from there to this is a marvelous journey. Predominantly, Dubai was a trading hub with its natural harbor and trading. It was quite a famous route between India and access to the Arabian Peninsula. So trading was been going on since ages, and after the building of the Jebel Ali port in the early 80s, that became as a process industry. So few of the process industries came over here, and with the support of the logistics, one of the largest ports and the largest man-made port in the world, and one of the largest operating port in the world. So that logistic helps in the trading. So basically, it became a springboard. Material from Germany, from Europe, from China, US used to come here, and from here it used to pass on to 50, 60, 70 countries, African countries and many of the Eastern Europe in the early 90s after the fragmentation of USSR happened. Evolving that from the processing industry, they realized that the core industries are required for the economic growth, manufacturing. So they started focusing on the industrialization. And if you ask what can be manufactured, the answer was all the import substitutes can be manufactured. It can be substitutes can be made over here. Now the challenge was, is it economically viable? Is it logistically viable? So basically, industry stands on the 6 pillars: land, machinery, human resource, raw material, capital, and most important, legislation. So these 6 pillars were calibrated so well that some of the large industries are now being present in UAE, and it's growing. COVID played a very significant role in boosting the manufacturing manufacturing ecosystem rather, because the COVID gave us and it was an alarm to move from global to local, because before COVID we were all talking global, global, global. Then when the COVID came, and the logistic system was literally paralyzed for some time, and the material stopped coming from different parts of the world. So that became an imperative for UAE to have localization. Especially they focused on agriculture, food industries, and some of the large industries where the local industries, the local manufacturing is promoted. Now with the program of Make It in the UAE, like India started Make in India in 2014 September, like Make in Turkey we heard, and all other things. So there are 55 free zones in the UAE, and they all are having some kind of their advantages on industry. Let's say if you have a power intensive industry, then you need to go to Kizat, which is in the Abu Dhabi. They guarantee you a subsidized rate of power for next 15 years. If next 15 years, if you're a brand conscious industry, then most of them are in Jebel Ali, and that's where the brand of Dubai and Jebel Ali comes. If you are a labor intensive industry, then the northern Emirates of Sharjah, Umm Quwain, Ras Al Khaimah, Ajman, they have that kind of ecosystem available wherein you can have your labor quarters in within your industry premises, where the other Emirates they don't provide. So these are the different offerings of different Emirates, which has attracted different types of industries. And that's how in last 2 3 4 years we have seen a very upper graph escalation on industrial investments in the UAE. So this has resulted in with fantastic air and sea connections, with 80 plus liners touching Jebel Ali port, mother vessels, and with Emirates airline, with Etihad airline, and Arabia connecting to all the continents of the world. The air and sea connectivity also helped them in mobilizing this. So overall, if you see, it's a seven lever lock to open the. So all the levers are in place. Thus, the industry, industrial growth has, we have seen a sudden surge in industrial growth. Your question on the real estate investments and the tech in the real estate. See, we have seen Dubai, like a mushroom. It came up in like last 20 years. One of my very close friend is a town planning architect in US. When he came here, he said, "So I think some aliens have built this. Humans cannot build UAE this kind of city in 20 years." So this kind of notion from the experts we get. So that's like a mushroom. It has come up, and with that, of course, the investors' sentiments was such that they invest in the off-plan properties. So they invest 10% in each property, around say 5 properties, and they want to flip in 2 3 4 months. That was the scenario in 2005, 6, 7, 8, when there was the real estate boom was there. And that time RERA was not in effect, and the regulations were not so strong. So there was an advantages for the developer. So they and the investor as well to flip on properties, and the premiums are going on. So before your sweat on the check is dried, you have flipped the property. So it was so quick. Many a times one property was sold 3 times a day. So, and that was a scenario in 2006, 7, 8. After the downturn in the world economy and when the market stabilized, the RERA came in place. Certain strong regulations came in place for the developers to continue the projects. It has become from the speculators industry sentiments to real investors are now coming, real end users are now coming. So with that, a lot of stabilization in the industry has happened. Now what tech has helped in this real estate industry is that earlier when a client comes to the developer, he doesn't know his net worth. He comes in a Rolls Royce with a Rolex watch and a gold chain in his neck, but doesn't have 5 dirham in his pocket. So that kind of people, they used to buy certain properties with the intention of flipping over, and when the flip over doesn't happen, they got stuck. So now with the tech, based in the real estate, the real estate developer knows the net worth of the investor. With the credit rating from Etihad Bureau, they can get the investor's credit rating of his investments portfolio. So they are now, they get serious investors who continue till the end of their project for investing in and completing the payment plan. Otherwise, you have an army of officers on recovery, and still, you cannot manage. So with this tech industry, with the AI, and with the regulations in place, the real estate market has now stabilized, and a lot of end users are coming in. Of course, you don't see the premiums in the property what we used to see earlier, but that's not really meant for. So now we see the real growth, and the areas are coming up, neighborhoods are coming up like mushrooms, and we see a very stable growth. Currently, Dubai is having around population of between 3.5 to 4 million. There is an aim to make around between 15 to 20 million. So there is a lot of deficit of housing in Dubai, which the construction boom is going to feed that. And we see the high end investors, high end HNI, UHNIs around the world shifting their headquarters to Dubai, shifting their families to Dubai. That has increased in the high end properties as well. So overall growth in the real estate has happened. Thank you.
Anybody wants to invest is the place to come. Okay, Lisa,